3 years, peace talks between the United States and North Vietnam have been going on in Paris, with little or no progress. In January of 1971, the talks remain deadlocked, as do the private meetings between National Security Advisor Henry Kissinger and North Vietnamese negotiator Le Duc Tho. Nonetheless, President Nixon is moving ahead with his policy of Vietnamization, the plan to eventually turn over all combat responsibilities to the South Vietnamese Army, known as the ARVN. As a result of the ongoing U.S. withdrawals, pressure is increasing, not only on the ARVN, but also on the remaining Americans to carry the full load of combat operations.
Every one of these guys thinks he's a damn cowboy. And I'm the lucky guy that gets to lead him into battle.
29-year-old Major Bob Kluwel was a military advisor to the ARVN in 1964. He returns to Vietnam as a company commander in the 101st Assault Helicopter Battalion.
My captains are experienced. Some of my pilots are all recently commissioned. With
a few exceptions, they were all on pretty much their first tours.
Of course, when it comes down to it, every one of them knows exactly what's expected of them. And they're more than prepared to do what I ask. Which is a hell of a comfort, because I've just gotten orders saying we're about to get into a big operation.
Since the start of the war, the Ho Chi Minh Trail, the enemy's main supply route into the south, has been a thorn in the side of the Americans and the South Vietnamese. After years of heavy bombing failed to sever the trail, a 1970 ground incursion into Cambodia finally succeeded in destroying a massive amount of enemy weapons and ammunition. Now, U.S. and ARVN commanders hope that a similar assault against the northern end of the trail, located in Laos, will result in the destruction of an even greater amount of supplies and disrupt enemy operations long enough for Vietnamization to take hold. Codenamed Operation Lam Son 719, the plan is to send an armored South Vietnamese force speeding down Highway 9 to the village of Chapone, which is believed to be a major enemy supply depot. At the same time, U.S. helicopter units, including Major Bob Kluwel and his men, will insert ARVN ground troops north and south of the highway to act as a blocking force and destroy any additional supply caches in the immediate area. In total, 12,000 South Vietnamese are heading into Laos. And for the first time since American forces took over primary military leadership, they will do all of the ground fighting. A congressional amendment enacted a month earlier prohibits U.S. ground forces from setting foot outside South Vietnam. Lam Son 719 will be the first real test of whether or not the South Vietnamese military is prepared to lead the war by themselves.
Right as we're about to take off, a couple of my pilots ask, who the hell are we supposed to talk to on the ground in Laos, since none of the ARVN we're dropping off there speak English? I tell them not to worry, because we've got translators standing by. But in the back of my mind, I have a terrible feeling that we're heading into trouble.
Heavy fighting has broken out in Laos again today after 3 days of...
4 cameramen are reported missing in Laos tonight, and it's believed that they were killed in a helicopter crash.
One of the journalists killed covering Lam Son 719 is a friend of UPI correspondent Joe Galloway. Galloway was last in Vietnam during the Ya Drang Valley battles almost 6 years earlier. His boss now requests he return to take the place of his friend.
although I had fought to get there the first time, I left there thinking I never wanted to come back again. I had seen the war, and I thought my part of it's over. I told my wife, and she said, "You can't do that. You're still grieving for your friends, and you're going to go there and put yourself in the same situation." And I said, "Well, I have to do it." And she said, "Well, if you go, I may not be here when you come back." And I said, "I may not come back." I began to think we're all supposed to die in that place.